Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. And today we are going to talk about 2020. What specifically about 2020? Well, we are going to discuss all the new game consoles coming out in 2020. So let's jump right in. So the first console we're going to talk about today is the Atari VCS, which is set to come out pretty soon. It was originally set to be released to its backers back in 2019, I believe November of 2019, and it got delayed. So now they are saying that it will reach backers by March 2020 and that it'll have a retail release possibly sometime in the summer of 2020, possibly fall. It's not really determined yet, just sometime in 2020. But the way things are looking, I don't think this console is going to get off the ground, and I'm starting to think that it's going to be like the Google Stadia and become a complete and utter failure. Of course, it shares some similarities with the Google Stadia, such as there is no physical media with this game console. It's all download only. When this thing was first announced a couple years ago, I was actually really excited, and then over time, things started sounding less appealing to me about the Atari VCS. I mean, how could things go any more horribly wrong than they have with this game console? I mean, with constant delays and whatnot, I may get one, but I'm going to wait at least a year or so to see how things pan out. I was going to do that with the Google Stadia. I was going to give it until, fall of 2020 to decide, if it's going to be worth getting or not. The way it's looking, probably not. So I probably will never pick one up. If I do, it'll be in a discount bin, and it'll be less than $30 when I finally decide to get one, which I probably won't get one because if it's in a discount bin and it's been discontinued, then there's probably no online service for it anymore, so what's the point of even getting it? So I guess I'm never getting a Google Stadia. And that may turn out to be the case with the Atari VCS. It may be the final nail in the coffin to put the Atari brand in under once again, especially after what Jack Tramiel did to Atari in the 90s. Of course, this isn't your grandfather's Atari or your father's Atari. This is a completely new company using the Atari name built from the ground up. And they're not doing a good job of it so far. I'm pretty concerned, actually. So the Atari VCS, coming sometime in 2020. Don't know when. Honestly, don't really care when. It's probably not going to be good, and things are looking pretty bleak for the future of this revival of Atari. So we'll see how things go once this thing launches eventually. And, but moving on. The next one we're going to talk about that's coming in October of 2020, which I may pick one of these up. I don't know yet. I'm still holding out for the Xbox, Series X. That's the one I personally want, but, but the Intellivision Amico, probably a good concept. From what I hear, it will use physical media as well as downloads. Of course, Tommy Tallarico, he has the opportunity to let Intellivision finally beat Atari at its own gaming, of course. This could potentially outsell the Atari VCS, and that's my honest opinion. I have high hopes for this system. I actually want one. I'm going to find out when I can get one. I mean, I wonder if pre-orders have started at retail stores. I really want one. I legitimately want one of these. The only thing that concerns me about this console, if you go to their website and you read the About Me, there's a portion talking about physical games. And it said that they're only going to be released for a limited time. And that really concerns me. Because a limited time could be like 6 months, a year, it could be less. Or it could be one of those pre-order only deals. If that's the case, it's going to sink. And it needs to be to where physical copies can be widely available. Not just limited, that they actually need to sell. And they say most games will cost $9.99. The physical copies we're looking at probably will cost anywhere from $19.99, $29.99, maybe even $39.99. I'm going to bet it's under $30 for a physical copy. But, I mean, there's not really much known about it other than what's been released online. But that's the only thing that concerns me about it. I mean, if they do that and they're widely available, like I can walk into my local GameStop or my local Walmart and just buy an Intellivision physical copy, of the games, then I'll be perfectly fine. But if I can't do that, then I'm not probably going to own the system. So I'm going to wait until probably 2 months before it comes out, before I make a decision whether I'm going to buy one or not. I mean, it's a really tough decision, and I've talked about this before in a video. I mispronounced Amico as Amico, and a lot of people pointed that out, and they're still pointing it out. I have to say, that video was recorded months ago. You no longer have to point that out. I know how it's pronounced now. I didn't watch any videos prior to that. I just read information. Yeah. So, the physical copies, that's the only thing that concerns me. But, like they said, it's going to come in a couple different colors. And I personally would like to see a blue or an orange one. I would buy that. Or even the one you see on screen. I would buy that shade of blue. Like, just if it lit up like that. That would be pretty sweet. But, I think it would be great. And of course, they said a lot of the games are geared towards family-oriented. There'll be nothing beyond a E10 rating, and that's okay with me. I like it for its concept. Will it be as popular as Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation? No, it'll never reach that popularity. I mean, it might. In terms of realistic numbers, it might sell as many as many consoles as the Wii U did, maybe a little bit better. But, that's the only strings attached to that, I guess you could say. Now, the controllers, as you see, and now if you remember the original Intellivision controllers, they were like, they had the knob with the numbers on it. I guess this is a similar concept, except it's a touchscreen, and you can plainly see there's still a knob there. Whether the knob moves or not, I haven't really did research into that. It may be one of those deals that you just run your finger across and it controls it, or it may actually physically turn. I don't know. I want to see the actual hardware in action, But the Intellivision Amico, really excited for it. This is one that I may pick up. It's going to just retail for about $200 in stores. So this probably would be a good one to grab at launch. Of course, it's going to come pre-loaded with 5 games when you buy the console, which is a little less than what the Atari VCS is promising. The Atari VCS, I think they promised 60 plus or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. But, of course, the Atari VCS doesn't have physical media. This one is going to. I don't know what kind of, what they're going to use. Probably SD card. I mean, it has an SD card slot. I don't know. I really don't know what they're planning for this. But, it could be a really big thing. And I think someday, when this thing is long gone, I have a feeling there's going to be a homebrew market there. Like, if it uses SD, you could almost make your own games and put them on the SD card and play them directly on it. Same thing for Atari VCS, But, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? So the Intellivision Amico, coming out in North America and most of Europe in October of 2020. So let's move forward. So the one I'm really excited about, and the one I definitely know I'm getting, is the Xbox Series X. And a lot of PlayStation fanboys are out there saying, oh, it looks ridiculous. Well, you know, I like PlayStation also, but I'm an Xbox fan, you know, the current generation, Xbox One, you know, and I used to be a PS4 fan, and then PS4 just really wasn't offering anything for me. I mean, yeah, you got the new God of War that came out, the new Spider-Man game. Yeah, those are all fine and dandy, but they just didn't hold my attention. Of course, a lot of people are probably saying, oh, you're ridiculous. Those were some of the best games ever made. Well, yeah, they may be, but gamers have certain preferences, and the PS4, the exclusives that it was offering, it just didn't hold my attention. Of course, the Xbox doesn't really have as many, you know, any better exclusives, but the reason that I went with the Xbox One, especially I went with an Xbox One S. I'm not going to buy an X. That's just ridiculously expensive right now. But the reason I went with Xbox this generation, I ended up getting an S, an Xbox One S, and it had the 4K UHD Blu-ray drive, and I have a 4K TV, so for me, I bought it because I could watch 4K UHD movies. So that was the main draw to it. Now, with the Series X, it's coming out, I think, November. I don't know if they've set an exact date. November of 2020. And it's one of those systems, it's weirdly shaped. I don't think there's been a... I mean, it's literally a box. I mean, more of a box than... Well, it's more of a rectangle? Maybe? Anyway, whatever the shape is, it's going to be awesome, I think. Of course, it's going to be backwards compatible with the Xbox One games. And, of course, it's going to have its own, you know, next-gen games. And, of course, the already existing backwards compatible library with the 360 and with the Select 360 and Select original Xbox games. You got that. That's, you know, it's there. Of course, right now, the biggest debate that's on the internet is it going to be more powerful than the PS5? And the answer is, nobody really knows. If anyone tells you out there that one or the other is going to be more powerful, don't believe them, because they are lying to you. I mean, as of this recording, February 7th, 2020, they are lying to you if they tell you that this is more powerful than the PS5 or the PS5 is more powerful. I mean, yeah, specs are out there on the internet, but until the actual physical hardware is there in front of you to examine and test out and see what it's got, nobody knows how powerful it is. Nobody knows, you know, the capabilities that these things are, you know, capable of, until there is physical hardware that exists. And some people on the internet are saying, you know, oh, this is going to be more powerful. We don't know. So until physical hardware, I mean, like I said, there's specs and whatnot not out there, but until physical hardware of each console arrives, we do not know which one is more powerful. So I'm just going to clear that up right now as of this recording. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I may get this one. I may get the PS5. I don't know. But I don't buy consoles because one is more powerful than the other. I buy consoles because of brand recognition. If they have what I like, what they're offering, I'll buy it. It's just like PlayStation. Like every couple of years, I'll switch. Like, for example, I was a PS1 fan. I still am to this day, but back then I was big into PS1. And then I switched to original Xbox. That was my main console until the PS3 came out. Then the PS3 was my main console. And then the PS4 came out. It was my main console for a while. And then I went back to Xbox. So I'm not biased towards one or the other. It's just I like whatever games they're offering. I don't care about power. Anybody who says you should care about the power of a console is a crazed lunatic who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. So, just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. So, yeah. So, things are looking pretty good for it. The one game that I'm really excited for the Xbox Series X, Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's supposed to come out, not sure exactly when, and I really don't know if that game is going to be a physical copy or download only. I would like for it to be a physical copy and then have a download of all the maps and stuff that you can fly on the game afterwards. That would better suit me. Of course, I have no clue what they plan on doing, so we'll just have to more or less wait and see where that goes. Of course, the next Halo game, I'm also excited for that. That's an Xbox exclusive also. So we'll just wait and see what happens. So the Xbox Series X coming in fall 2020, looking like November. So let's move along to the next one. So the last one, probably, there may be more that just suddenly pop up throughout the year, but in this video, of course, we're just talking about notable ones. The Sony PlayStation 5 or the PS5, which is coming out this fall, looking like November also. Now, like I said, we don't know if it's more powerful than what the Xbox Series X is. I'm not going to go over that again. You should have already learned by now what I said. And the thing about it is, as of this recording, it hasn't been revealed what it's going to look like yet. They've just gave us a logo, and it is the most uncreative thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. It has literally been the same logo since they redesigned it for the PS3 in 2010. It is the most unimaginative thing I've ever seen. And if they're going, whether they're going to change it or not because of that fact, it's gained a lot of criticism on the internet. They may change it. I doubt it, but it probably took all of 10 minutes to make. So I just wanted to get that little bit of, criticism out of the way. But as for the PS5, we really don't know a whole lot about it. I mean, there was some, what it possibly looked like. I believe it was called a dev kit. It's released on the internet. We actually did a video on it. It just, if it looks like that, that would be kind of awesome. Of course, I don't buy a console for looks. I mean, anybody who buys a console for looks is a, I can't think of a word. At least I can't think of a word that wouldn't insult a lot of people. So there's not really much to say about the PS5 at this time. The only thing we have to go on until there's an official reveal, which when there is, we'll do a video on it. But as of this recording, February 7th, 2020, there has not been a reveal for it yet. Just a logo and some general information out there that may or may not be true. One of the biggest rumors about the PS5 is that it's going to be backwards compatible with every generation as far back as the PS1. I mean, that would be awesome. I would buy it. If it actually did that, I would buy that console before I would the Xbox Series X. That's the only thing that would bring me back to PlayStation right now. that's just one little rumor about it. I mean, there is some information. And like I said, I'm not biased towards PlayStation or Xbox or any other thing like Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have a new console coming out this year that I know of. I mean, they just released a redesign of the Switch back last year, 2019. So I don't know, I don't think they have anything in terms of hardware, notable hardware, planned for this year. So until we get some solid information about the PS5, I have to leave you at this. There's not really anything that we can talk about it yet. Right now it's just speculation, what's been released on the internet, the tabloids and whatnot, the gaming journals and blah, 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 blah. You get the gist of it. So the PS5, not been revealed yet. Still waiting for that. It's supposed to be this month. Will it happen? I don't know. I hope so. If I'm disappointed, then I'll tell you I'm disappointed about it. You know, at the reveal. I can't really say anything else about it. I mean, I wish I could. So, the Sony PlayStation 5, coming fall 2020. Looks like November. So, tell us in the comments down below, which of these game consoles do you plan on getting this year? And which one do you not plan on getting this year? Let us know. We wanna hear from you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out if you do. It helps us, helps the channel grow. It motivates us to make more awesome videos. And don't forget to hit the bell when you're finished if you haven't already. That tells us, or I should say it tells you. It tells you when we make more awesome videos. So until next time, I will see ya.